Next item is item 3.4, consideration of an update report regarding the unification of LB Landry High School and OP Walker High School for the 2013-14 school year. The department recommendation is to receive.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive?
Yes.
Ms. Hill, we have a second?
And so just briefly, I'll be brief, just to make sure that the board is aware of the situation regarding the merger of LB Landry High School and O'Perry Walker. So LB Landry High School is an RSD direct run school that is housed in the still fairly new state-of-the-art Landry building that's located on the West Bank. O'Perry Walker is a Type 5 charter school that's operated by the Algiers Charter School Association, which is about 1 mile away from the Landry building. Per the BESE and OPSB approved master plan amendments in 2011, that both OPSB and BESE approved that these two student populations will be served by the Landry School Building beginning this fall 2013. The board, you've received a number of updates over the last several months, consistently from our staff as well as the Algiers Charter School Association, detailing those activities. One thing I want to do is take a moment to applaud the students, the school leaders, the teachers, and staff at both schools that have really worked hard to make a change, especially when change is not easy. And so they've worked together. We have a number of things that have gone on in the unification process again, which I want Mr. Morgan to be able to speak specifically to. But I think that as we see that both schools are concluding the 2012-13 school year, we're already beginning to offer summer academic programs as well as enrichment programs at the school, at the LB Landry Education Complex. We're confident and very hopeful of the leadership from the Algiers Charter Association and Ms. Mary Laurie as they're working to merge staffs, and she's staffing up the school as we discussed and followed from the board's direction. When we talk about the current student population, I know there was some concerns and some rumors to the fact of safety at the school. But we just received the report as recent as this evening that the board received from Lieutenant Doug Eckert, who assured us that none of any of the violence that has been seen, unfortunately, around the city, particularly on the West Bank, is linked in any way, is not linked in any way to the school merger. And again, that's from...
Audience, excuse me. Look, if we can't have this meeting in a proper manner,
that's from Lieutenant Doug Eckert. I also want to just say that aside from the current student population from both LB Landry and O'Perry Walker that will return, we have an additional 348 students. We have additional 348 students who have signed up to go to this high school. So that's exciting to know that parents have chosen to come to the high school that weren't already at either Landry or at Walker. And so we feel like...
Audience, excuse me, if we can't do this meeting in a proper manner, we're not going to have the meeting. Please calm down. Please calm down.
Again, we feel like the process is going on very well, working from those that are closest working in the schools. We'll ask Mr. Morgan to come up, but I'll just defer to you, Mr. Chairman, Ms. Hill. I know you wanted an update on it. We'll have more specifics again from Mr. Morgan, but I'll defer to you, Mr. Chairman, as how you like to continue to proceed. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Hill?
Or Ms. Jones as well. Ms. Orange Jones.
One of the reasons why I decided to put this item on the agenda, because I wanted to update. When we was in Baton Rouge a couple of months ago in reference to Landry and O'Perry Walker, to my understanding, I know Ms. Jones, who's the representative of this area, and the Algiers Charter, Mr. Morgan, and some other individuals were supposed to get together to come up with an agreement of how we're going to move forward. And that's why I decided to put this item on the agenda, because I wanted to know where were we with this merger. Now, personally, after I've done my research, I have had the opportunity to do a town hall meeting in Algiers, which was standing room only. The community is concerned, and that's why I've been so engaged in this process, because the community is so concerned. They feel that no one has listened to them. They feel that they have came to RSD, even the BESE, and tried to come up with an agreement to stop this merger. And so we say we're here for children, and we're here to do what's right for our children. So when they speak, we should listen and take in consideration of what their needs are. And so I just want to know, where do we go from here, from what Ms. Jones and Algiers Charter's, I guess, president of board, president, CEO, Mr. Morgan, where are we going to go from here with this merger? Personally, I think that we need to stop it now. And I think that we as a board need to look into it in more detail, because one of the things that I find when the department give us information is not all the information. They give us bits and pieces until we do our own research. So I think that we need to stop it. However, we need to look into it in more detail to see what we can do to really help both schools. So that was one of the main reasons why I wanted an update. So maybe Mr. Morgan can come, Mr. Dobar gave his update, and then like Ms. Jones, this is her district.
Okay, Ms. Jones, you wanted to speak?
I really do want to hear the update that has been prepared by Mr. Morgan, and I also would like to hear from public comment, and I have been immensely over the last couple months working on this and talking to many of the members of the Landry community as well as the Walker community, many people involved, and I think it's a very complex issue, and I think there's a real, as Ms. Hill, as you said, there's certainly a certain degree of community unrest that has existed here, and at the same time, I want to make sure that we have the opportunity to hear the full perspective. So I'd like to hear from, I think we should do public comment, and then, I think we should do public comment, and then I want to hear from Mr. Morgan.
Okay. Frank Buckley.
Everyone knows that the merger is not going to work. Only person think it's going to work is Patrick Dobar. We've been sitting here about an hour now, and we haven't heard one truth from the Recovery School District. Now, the document I have, there's $3-something million for Old Perry Walker. Give Old Perry Walker the $3 million and let them renovate their student stadium. Good evening. Thank you for being here. I would like to just say to this board, we appreciate you guys being back. Mr. Dobar, either you're terribly misinformed, I don't want to think that you're a practicing liar. But, and I look you straight in the eyes and say that. You either need to come clean or you need to be removed. The whole RSD, one. Number two, this merger will not work. We live in Algiers, born and raised. We walk the streets every Saturday. We talk to the cliques or gangs, whatever you want to talk about. And we know these kids come from Walker, Landry, and other areas. And they're begging us, not let it happen. Don't let it happen. If you let it happen, bad stuff's going to happen. They're already telling us. Kids, you saw kids stand at Old Perry Walker Library with an ACSA meeting. That's why whatever Adrian has to say is going to be bogus up here. We know the truth. That's right. And we don't want any politics over our children's lives any longer. We're not going to take it. Now listen to me. Love all of you, respect you, very passionate about this. Now, we are walking these streets and we are meeting with kids that carry guns, lay their guns down, and they're begging us not to let this happen. Now, we are here to say we have given time and time to stop this. We've heard from leaders at Walker and leaders at Landry, and the girl stood in the library, cried, and broke, and said it is not what they're trying to make it to be. There's beefing going on. The Walker kids are talking about they're taking our school. We're watching the colors change. They have changed the mascot. They have a Buccaneer riding the Charger. They're talking about painting the gym. Are you guys aware of this? This is asininely insulting to our community. I'm wrapping it up. And you stay put. Now, all I'm saying is, don't touch me, brother. All right, I heard this gentleman. I don't need to hear you repeat it. Stay where you are. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be final. If you really care, hear my voice. Don't let the powers that be play politics with your minds over this crazy money, over this evil that's going on in our city and use you. You have the power to stop this merger. And we are asking you today, with all professionalism, passion, and heart, to stop this merger. If another kid, and don't come with that foolishness about this stuff doesn't relate. You're not in our community. So be quiet. We're asking you to do what you need to do.
Michelle.
Thank you.
Michelle Black or Michelle
The one
Black.
app is a failure.
Patrick, I don't know who told you that. It was probably Adrian. That's a lie. Let me.
Doug Eckert.
Huh?
Lieutenant Doug Eckert.
Okay, Lieutenant lied then. Let me tell you something. That third Tuesday in January, that was me who saved Tavon Corley's life from being shot by Alvin Alvarez outside of LB Landry. The first time a person ever got shot at Landry in 75 years. Okay, they got some students out here who was there too. Okay, they are there. We, like Reverend told you, we walk the streets. And by the way, Mr. Garvin, no disrespect, but I can tell you now before I get started, I'm gonna be back up here when you cut me off because they're gonna yield your time to me from their comment.
We're not yielding time. We'll give you an extra minute though.
Appreciate it. All right. What I'm telling you is this. I've only been in Algiers 52 years. We done had too many conversations. We're not wasting our time. We're not going to get into all that historical stuff. But what we are going to get into, first of all, I think you're doing injustice to Mary Laurie. She's been a hell of a leader for years and years. You understand? But she's never had to reform a school when you got a community that's going to go against her. Now, we can't light tonight. Okay, and if you think it's light, y'all stand up. We came light tonight. We don't have a West Bank problem. You got a city problem. And they done put it off on you. But I told you on December 15, 2011, they will never ask you all to have a meeting in Landry. All right? Now, we've been trying to do this diplomatically. You understand? But we've had 4. Now, Lieutenant who told you, the young lady that sits next to him, I'm not going to call her name because she might get fired. I get every single report. We know who the suspects are. When Lieutenant Marshall came in Walker, Adrian, he left. When Lieutenant Marshall came in Walker at the ACSA meeting and said they had 2 suspects, they had 9. I gave him the names. We got 2 people sitting in here right now. I'm not going to point them out because the investigation's still going on. Okay? 3 of the students that's at Walker, and I'm not trying to bash Walker. 3 of the students at Walker are the lead people that's being investigated. They're the suspects who shot the young man in front of his house. We go out every Saturday, Patrick. You can't even name, you or Adrian can't name 3 streets in Algiers. So we understand you don't know. We keep trying to tell you it's about community culture in our children. And we're not going to stop. Now, it's not a merger. If you go look up the word merger and go look up the word takeover, then you'll figure out what it is. I worked that walk for 5 years. My daughters went to car and I graduated from Landry. You understand? So what I'm telling you is...
Sir, you need to wrap up.
Thank you. It's not going to work. All right? We're not going to stop. We are not going to have that because we're telling you, and I'm going to call these names to you and I'm done. You ever heard of Suwu, Mr. Dobard?
Of who?
Suwu. What is Suwu?
It's an expression from what I understand.
Okay, wait. D-Block, let me explain to you what's about to happen. I'm going to wrap up, Mr. Gordon. Suwu, remember these names, Bessie Board. Suwu, Hot Block, D-Block, Young Gunners, Young Money. We can tell you who at Walk and we can tell you who at Landry. I'm going to leave this with you all. Because I'm going to tell the truth.
Let me sit. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you, let me finish. They did a story on John McDonald about being one of the most violent schools in the city. Landry been there 75 years. The only shooting they had was the third Tuesday in January from a Walker student shooting a Landry student. You understand? Go do your research. They've had 4 at Walker. One of them was my quarterback 2 years ago. They've had 4. You understand? So if you want to talk about leaving the city and shooting, and 2 weeks after that meeting, this year alone, they done found 4 guns on Walker students here. And I'm not trying to dog Walker out, no, but I know what's going on. They're not from the West Bank either. So you can't tell me what's going on at Walker, nobody. You cannot tell me, I know.
Sir, we need you to wrap it up.
And I just, and Skip, I just want to make sure to let us know to say if you have any information, and I know you mentioned a number of things, to please contact Lieutenant Eckert and I could give you his contact information. I appreciate that though. Thank you.
You're not going to call me, you're not going to answer my calls, you're not going to do any of that, so stop lying.
Derek Lamont? I'm sorry. Okay.
Stop lying, man, you're lying.
Willie Zanders? State your name, please, for the record.
My name is Willie Zanders, and I'm the legal advisor for Landry. And I've been their advisor for, June will make about a year. And Skip has been fired since this so-called merger. It's not a merger. There will be no Landry because they won't have a school code. The top math teacher was fired after all of this craziness. I came to your board a month ago, and I said to you all then that according to the law, you must keep a school open for 5 years. That's the way it's written. I didn't write it. 5 years. Landry's in his 3rd year, and they've already started phasing it out. I also said that whenever a school is going to be converted into a charter school, you must have a vote of the parents, and you must have a vote of the faculty. That has not happened. Parents don't want it. The faculty don't want it. Now, when I came to Baton Rouge, and people from Landry came, that wasn't their first trip. I didn't attack the board. I'm not going to attack the board tonight. The problem is the RSD. The board, according to the Constitution, is over all of these schools. The RSD and the Department of Education comes under you. Y'all can fire them tomorrow, tonight. Matter of fact, gentrifies people on the spot all the time. But let me say this. I've looked at a couple things. One, I look forward to a day when the same Landry family can come together with the RSD and push for academics. Push for an environment where students want to be there. Push for kids that we can be proud of. I look for that. Now, it can happen if we come together. But if you force people, Mr. Lamont said it, we're not going to take it. As their lawyer, I say we're not going to take it. This is serious. We're not going to take it. Last point I want to make. When I was in Baton Rouge a month ago, we had not had the Mother's Day shooting. That's right. Since then, since I came to your board, there's been a shooting. Please. All over America. I'll wrap it up, Mr. Chairman. A shooting. Mother's Day. Skip knows this. Others from Landry see this coming. You all have the power to tell the RSD, stop, that blood won't be on our hands. We're going to look at this craziness, and we're going to hold somebody accountable, and we're going to figure out what's best for Landry and the parents and the faculty and the community, and figure out what's best for Walker. From my perspective, Walker needs to be Walker, and Landry needs to be Landry.
The next speaker is Terrence Boseman.
Good evening. My name is Torrance Boseman. We want to thank you all once again, and it's gotten to the point where we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, but we won't stop. We refuse to stop because it's not just the school to us, it's our community, it's our culture, it's our pride. And we're asking that you all listen to what we're saying because RSD has not listened. Algiers Charter has not listened. They've heard us talking, but they haven't listened to anything we've said to them. They gave a meeting, and they came to the meeting in order to try to see what could go on so we could make it better or move forward. And in that meeting, they presented us with a slideshow of everything that had already taken place. So how are you listening to us and you've already put it together? They're lying to you. RSD has failed us. RSD has failed Algiers. RSD has failed New Orleans. And they cooked the books and they lied to you all. Oh, it's all right. It's together. We're going to move the merger on. They're lying to you. And you all need to stop it. We implore you to stop it. Take a closer look at it. And you'll see. Because they've had the little meetings because they have to have them, but they haven't listened to anything that we've said. They put that together and they told you all, oh, it's all right and it's going good. It isn't going good. It's not all right. It's not going to be all right. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is...
Shame, shame, shame. We're sitting here tonight because they messed up the money. Now, why don't we just get down and confess? Write a confession. You just have Joe Bar to write a confession and we can go on. Don't y'all think that's... We don't have to keep playing games. Just fess up. Now you our leader. You our leader. We need accountability, and it starts with the money. Landry wouldn't be out here fighting to keep that school if all the money was straight. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. If all the money was straight, they need to stop what they're doing until they can give a full accounting. Nothing happened on these constructions. That's what reasonable people would do. I'm asking you to be reasonable. Stop them from spending money and find out how much money they don't have. Stop them from spending money because you're going to be responsible for it. Now you might say you're conservative. Huh? You going to let these people run through the money like that? Ms. Jones, you our leader. You our leader. Make them accountable.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker is Emma Bryan.
Emma Bryan, I have a message for all the leaders. I'm a very good Christian woman, and I receive messages from the Holy Spirit. I have something to tell all of those leaders. You are hurting God's children. God made those children, and they are being hurt, and God is not pleased with it. Please stop and think what you're doing. Those little children are God's children, and you're just messing them all up. You got them fighting one another, shooting one another. All the young ones are getting killed. But God, the Holy Spirit is asking you all, stop and think, cut it out, and put those schools back to like it was. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker is Lee.
The RSD need to be held accountable. And I don't have a personal problem with Mr. Doval. I don't have a personal problem with anyone. But there's too much confusion, too much lack of information, misinformation. And to put a stop at this is the reasonable thing to do. And I just told the reporter, of anything I said, the most important thing I said, I look forward to the day when the parents and the community are fighting for academics in the school. To save the good. My kids went to public schools. Maybe that's why you didn't say. My kids went to the public schools. Henry W. Allen, Mac Main, oldest finished from law school, middle son has a master's degree, youngest son finished from Washington Jefferson, makes more money than all of them. Public schools. Public schools. But there was peace at the schools.
Sir.
The point that Skip made,
We have a question for
I
you.
have a question for you,
Ms.
Mr.
Jones.
Sanders.
Yes,
Okay. I want to make sure we understand your point as a board, because I think it's a good one. When you say you look forward to the day where parents are fighting and parents in the community are fighting alongside the district for better opportunities for children,
Yes,
which is
ma'am.
what I think everybody in this
Yes,
room
ma'am.
wants. That's why we're here. That's why we sit on this board. Tell me more about that. Why?
Okay.
How do we get there? Yeah, how do we get
Okay,
there?
here's the point. Some of the students from Landry, way back when I was much younger, were my students in Upward Bound. The parents came to Loyola's campus. We visited every home. The parents supported our teachers. I never had a fight on the Loyola's campus. I probably lost my job if I had many fights because they lived on campus. Dr. Jones was there. Athletes from the school. We never had a fight because the parents were with me. I could discipline them. I would punish them in a minute. But the parents worked with the faculty. And I had the best faculty. And the other point, Skip mentioned, he mentioned they only had one shooting in Landry. That's a big deal. They only had one. This is after this so-called merger. But how did we get there? Leaders who understand that you can't educate a child without the parent being in the middle, because the parent is the first educator. You have to have parents who make sure they do their homework, who respect the teachers. My sons will say, yes ma'am, yes sir, but parents have to be in the middle of it. That's one. Two, I had the best teachers. And I had the best teachers. And three, we knew our kids. I heard his numbers. My numbers were 90% who went to college. These were low-income kids, first time ever. So what was the combination? I was a tough leader. I had the best faculty. I didn't even major in education, but I had the best faculty. And I had parents loved us and we loved them. We didn't tolerate fighting. And the community was out. Kids would come to campus. Skip wasn't even in the program. He'd come on Loyola campus because it was something good. So you start, Madam Board Member. You start, Madam Board Member, with the community, parents, teachers. But guess what you do? You have a 2-day retreat. You tell the RSD, we're going to shut things down. We're going to reorganize. We're going to come up with a blueprint. And the parents have to be part of the blueprint. And we got to stop fighting our own teachers. That's got to be part of the blueprint. So I don't have all of the answers, but it starts with the people and whoever it is, whether it's Patrick or not. They have to come together and fight for what's best for the children and put politics aside and stop playing games and stop worrying about who's going to get the contracts and who's going to get the money. That's where it starts. And the board can have that retreat. The board can do that. And we want to be a part, and I've told Skip this, we want to be a part of working with RSD to make it better. Instead of fighting you. We don't mind fighting you, but it makes more sense to work with you for the children.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Jones, could I address your question?
You can go address it.
He's going to be brief.
And I'm going to speak for Landry, and I'm going to do a little speaking for Walker too, because I've worked there for a total of 7 years, and I never worked for districts. I didn't work for ACSC, nor did I work for RSD. I worked for children. Right. And I don't say that a whole lot, because everybody running around here saying it's about the children. Let me explain something to you though. When you start talking about these schools, I'll use Carver for an example, and Landry, and we start talking about culture. If I ask Patrick, Dana, or Adrian, they couldn't come up with not one iota what the culture is at Landry. And you couldn't, and Miss Laura didn't know that. Brian Gibson don't know that. Dr. Triplett didn't know that. You understand? Now, it's easy to say, well, all the schools are alike and this, that, and the other. But let me tell you something that they don't tell you. Our former principal sitting in the back there, he always liked to sit in the back, and he don't, and I think y'all did him totally wrong. And I'm not speaking for him, I'm speaking on my own opinion. We talk about grades, but what we miss, people, are growth. Through 4 administrators in 2 years, see, Landry couldn't get a T because they had another agenda 3 years ago. But they gave the other schools T's. Do you know what Landry growth was last year? Say no. You know Mr. Peterson? I'm going to call y'all out. Do you know Mr. Morgan? Now they should know because we always talking about growth. It was the 2nd highest growth in the city of New Orleans. Y'all didn't know that, right? With all the turmoil.
Sir, wrap it up.
You understand? Without a senior class, you still gave us an F with a 60. At 47.7, we was the fastest growing school in the city without a senior class, and you still try to live an F. That's wrong to children. We're gonna help you out if you let us. Because you know what? We didn't pack the house tonight, Hummus Hill, but we will, and we're looking to help you. We got an accountant back there. We got administrator, we got a lawyer, we have a businessman, we have whatever you need to help these children. And we're going to be involved in Landry, but I still think y'all doing Ms. Lori wrong, because the way y'all did it, not going to happen. She's going to have a hard time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Cheryl Keith. Thank you.
By the way, I'm not here to confront y'all, but I'm here to confront him, Patrick Dover, and Dana Peterson. You somewhat, Mr. Dana Peterson, somewhere. I'm asking y'all to stop the merger because it's not gonna work at all. Why it's not gonna work? We get along. We're in the same community, but y'all throwing us from all over the city in 2 schools that already don't get along as it is. Then we don't have books for the 200 and some students that's at Landry already. You don't have books for students that's at Walker already. But y'all trying to put us in 1 school. And y'all worried about the capacity of the children when the capacity at Landry is 1,300? And 900? And y'all trying to put 1,300 plus students in there? It's not gonna work. There's so many kids. I'm a student. Well, I'm a graduate. You have seen me plenty of times. And I ask the same questions over and over. When y'all gonna do right? Y'all not doing it. Y'all not doing right as it is. Y'all took our math teacher out and put people in our school that don't help us. They don't care about us. Y'all say y'all care about the students, but y'all really don't. Y'all just there for the money. Y'all say y'all here for us. Y'all supposed to be our parents when our parents not there. That's not true. They won't be our friends instead of being our teachers. They don't teach us nothing when we at school. Then y'all got the audacity to put a test in front of us, and when we fail it, y'all won't put it on us. As if we not learning. We not learning because of y'all. Y'all put these uncertified teachers in Landry, and in Walker, and every other
Please
school in
wrap
New
up
Orleans.
your comments.
I'm gonna wrap up. Y'all put uncertified teachers in the school to try to teach us. Teach for America is not a certified teacher. It's like an older sister or brother to me. That's people that's our age. All I'm asking, not to let the merger go on, and before y'all try to merge, let us at least prove ourselves. Because y'all say we failing, but it's only been 3 years that Landry been open, and we really haven't had an opportunity. Y'all got the first 15 class was this year, and I think we did very well.
Thank you, ma'am. Frank, next speaker is Frank Joshua.
84 graduates of University. I'm against the merger. I'm against the merger for all the reasons you heard here. Accountability is not being heard. I mean, hearing about money. And one thing about the merger, you give Landry the opportunity to show what it can do. You guys haven't done that yet. Is it fair? You know, we're looking for some fairness here, and I haven't heard anything tonight that would attribute to fairness. You heard a presentation from Mr. Dunbar. You're saving something that the guy from LJ's Charter is going to share with us at the end that we can't comment on, so I have no idea what he's going to share. You talked about App 1. Mr. Dunbar indicated you got 300 more kids that want to come from Landry. Where do they came from? Where you get them from? The community? You're busing kids from the West Bank all the way across the river to school. And they live on the West Bank. Where's the 1 app process? Why these kids wake up in the morning and see Landry, they can't walk down the street to school? You're busing them all the way across the river. Are those the 300 kids he's referring to? I doubt it. I really do. Well, again, I'm against the merger. I want you guys to give Landry an opportunity to show what he can do, because he can do some great things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm really glad to see you guys again. In particular, man, you're sweet. You know, a lot have been said, and really it's true, and as you see, we are a strong family at Landry. Mr. Dunbar, this is what I want to address to you. Any day of the week, you want to come and walk through Algiers, I'll walk through there with you. Mr. Dunbar, you didn't vote for the president because he was a president. You done some investigation before you voted for him. The same way with Landry and Walker, you guys really, as Skip said, you don't know the culture. Y'all don't really know what's going on in Algiers. If we go to Algiers right now, as all of us speak, and we do a survey, I guarantee you 89% will say that Landry stay Landry. Even Walker, Reverend Cashmere graduated from Walker, y'all need to know that. They would say, Landry, Mr. Dunbar, you came in Landry, you presented to us, you told us, you say, Miss Laurie coming over here, and et cetera, et cetera. This is what I want to say, if I don't say nothing else. That's amazing they had a master plan in 2011. In 2000 and before then, Walker was a failing school. Y'all didn't say let's move Walker and call. Y'all never said that. They was a failing school, but you gave them time. Landry got the brunt of this because of Katrina. We was the only school on the West Bank that wasn't back. So we gonna look bad. Walker was established because of LB Landry. Our students went there and we backed them up. Our kids went to Walker and we backed Walker up. Now one time did we say, let the diploma say LB Landry. The diploma, when our kids graduated, they properly went across the stage and they got a diploma saying, O. Perry Walker, with nothing said. So we say this, Mr. Dunbar, because you don't know, and I respect your position. I really do respect. I respect everybody's position. But the Bible says a man perish because of lack of knowledge. You don't know, Mr. Dunbar. You don't walk in my shoes, and I don't walk in yours. Just come walk in my shoes, and I will show you.
This is Patrick Dunbar. Dan, stand up. We want the people to see who you are. Several months ago, we had a meeting, and we spoke to John White, and he was to come to New Orleans to meet and talk about the merger. He failed to do so. We sent, and you should have received, a letter certified to meet with us. I had an NFL activity, and I canceled that very important meeting during the Super Bowl to meet. No one showed up. But lies, all kind of lies. And my wife told me to be cool tonight because I don't want to have to carry some people out here. It won't be me. Live article. LJ's community rallies to prevent school merger. Then in the article, they went on to say that the reason or the rationale was because Walker was a B school, and they're not a B school. No. And Landry was an F school. Now tell me something, in 05, those kids who left from Landry, because that's the last job I had, they went to Walker and impacted Walker's test scores. In addition to that, when Landry was torn down and in the process of being rebuilt, 9th and 10th grade at that time, a third of the kids and a fourth of the kids in those two grade levels was 2 and 3 grades behind. Now how can you all justify saying one school is an F school and the other school is a B school? Tell me, somebody tell me that. We look at the articles. We would have a meeting with Mr. Morgan, and what we're going to talk about, I already have the information at hand. How can we have input when those kind of things have taken place? Another article, Walker Landry student welcome unified school. You go there and get some kids, and then you write an article. In the paper. Here's the article by Welch with the lens. I called this man for 3 weeks, and he refused to return my call. We talked about a school that's nearly 75 years old, or maybe a couple of months short, was the only school to educate black kids on the West Bank, which meant kids from Plaquemine Parish, Jefferson Parish, St. Charles, and on both sides of the river attended LB
Please wrap up
Landry.
your comments.
Okay? Now, they talked about many of the first principal that Walker had came from LB Landry, Dr. Aubrey. In addition to that, most of the staff on Walker's staff are Landry graduates. So Landry couldn't have been that bad.
Sir,
and then we
please
had,
wrap up your comments.
and they talked about the championships. The one-sided article, I'm gonna leave it with you. They talked about the championships. The championship that they won recently was as a result of the kids who was at Landry. Back in 55, 56, 57, 58, state championships,
Sir,
all kind of championships.
Please wrap up
all
your
kind
comments.
of people. I will. I'm a taxpayer and I pay a lot of money. Now believe you me now, if you don't want to see the thing turn out, let me finish and putting the close to it. All right? Okay.
Please do it quickly.
So just be cool. All right? I'm going to respect you, and you respect me as a taxpayer, and all my kids graduated from public schools, so I'm a public school supporter. So don't come here with that crap down here. I've marched before many days, many years I've marched, and I got out the front line and made changes. Now, you want to really see something? We have a school called Landry down in the deep Southland. We love his walls that are gleaming and white. We know that you lead us right. Landry High, dear Landry High, the greatest school in all the land. We will never forget our school. You taught us all the golden rules. Landry High, dear Landry High, loud we'll praise your name. You will always be the same. Landry, we love you. Landry, hold the line, hold the line, hold the line. Landry, hold the line, hold the line, hold the line. Landry, hold the line, hold the line, hold the line, hold the line. Landry today, Landry tomorrow, Landry forever. Anything happens as a result of you all trying to pull a wall over us, you all will be accountable for it. Now, this is just a little sample. This is just a little sample. Okay? And we saw the school burn once before.
Come on now. Okay, thank you. The next speaker is Deshaun Lewis, I think.
Good job.